Welcome back to digital class, and now we're looking at PSLE last minute revision set number J. So let's look at our first question, which is from Nan Hua P2 question 28. So here says that Mr. Ang and Mr. Lee were 120 km apart. So you just assume that Mr. Ang maybe is here. Mr. Ang and Mr. Lee. So this distance is 120 km. They drove towards each other starting from the same time, means that it's going here, it's going here. And Mr. Lee's average speed was 10 km slower than Mr. Ang. So I can say that Mr. Lee slower than Mr. Ang, right? So Mr. Ang is actually faster, right? How many km? 10 km faster. So I can say if Mr. Lee is S, means a variable S, Mr. Ang will be S plus 10, okay? And after 45 minutes later, they pass each other. So it means that after 45 minutes, they meet each other. Somewhere here lah. Okay, I don't know. Okay? What was Mr. Ang's average speed? Now I need to look for the speed here. So I mean the first thing that we can do is actually to find out what is the total speed, right? Okay? First, 120 km, but here is 45 minutes. So again, the first good thing that we need to do is to change this minute into hours. How to change? We need to divide by 60. So 45 divided by 60, I know it's 3 out of 4 hours. So what is the total speed of both of them, Mr. Ang and Mr. Lee? 120 divide by 3 out of 4. Okay? And of course, if this is kind of confusing to you, just 120 divide 3 out of 4. Okay? And again, if you want to change, divide this, we must remember the concept of what? K, C, F. Yes. Keep. K means keep. Change means what? Change the sign. And flip means you flip over these two. So 4 out of 3. So and you simplify. And you know that the total speed of both of them is actually 160 km per hour. Okay? And again, I know that this is 10 faster than Mr. Lee, right? And I know S plus 10 plus S is equal to 120. So very simple. I can use 160 minus 10, then I divide by 2. Minus 10, I divide by 2. And that will give me 75. And this will belongs to Mr. Lee, 75 km per hour. If now they are looking for Mr. Ang, and I need to do plus 10. And the answer is 85 km per hour. Okay. Yeah, so something simple. So that's up to you to choose to actually, because here I always prefer to put plus 10 instead of like putting the minus 10, which students always confuse. Okay, so I just put plus 10. If this is 10 km per hour slower, means that this is 10 km per hour faster. Okay, so let's look at our next question from Nanyang paper 1, question 29. Okay, so ABCD is a rhombus and BC is equal to CF. BED and FEC are straight lines, then blah blah blah. Okay, so the first thing, rhombus. Rhombus means what? Means that all the lines here are actually have the same length. That is the first important things that you should know. Okay? And BC and CF are equal. Means that these two are actually having the same length. And this information are actually kind of important because we know that if here is 80, then the whole thing here will also belong to 80 degrees. Okay? And do not forget one thing is that if this is a rhombus, and this is cut into half, the first thing you should know is here is 75, right? And this whole thing, this whole thing is actually what? 180 minus 75. Correct. And because this is rhombus, means that here and here will be the Same. Means that perhaps we actually can find out what is the angle here by doing what? 180 minus 75 divided by 2. Why divide by 2? Again, this is cut into half. So I know here is 52.5 degree. So here is 52.5 degree. And next part, find FBE, right? FBE is where it's here. Very simple. 80 degree minus 52.5. And the answer is 27.5 degree. And you are done for this question. Okay. Next part, let's look at the next question. The next question is from Nan Hua. At an event, there were a total of 1446 and boys and girls at first. During the break, 20 boys and 3 out of 8 of the girls went home. Okay, let's try to write down the information first. I have boys, I have girls, and I know the total given to me is 1446. During the break, 20 boys left home, so I minus 20 here. 3 out of 8 of the girls went home. Means what? Means that out of 8 units, how many left? 3 units left. And here means supposed to be 5 units. Correct? The number of girls remaining was 1/3 of the number of boys remaining. Means that this is remaining, right? The girls remaining is 1 unit. The boys remaining will be what? 3 units. Means that if here is 1, boys here will be 3. Okay? But here is 5 leh. Basically, 3 times of 5 units. Here will be 15 units. You got the idea? Again, number of girls is 1 out of 3. Means that the girls will be 1 unit, then the boys will be 3 units. But we found out here is 5. So it will be 3 times of what the girls remain here, which is 5 units. Here will be 15 units. And I think we can see very clearly here, 15 units is after minus 20. Means that before is actually what? 15 units plus 20. And of course, you can see here, 15 units plus 20. Here is 8 units. And add together will be 1446. So let's continue. 15 units plus 20 plus 8 units is equal to 1446. 15 plus 8 will be 23 units. Plus 60 move there will become minus. So there will be 1426. And 1 unit will be equal to 1426 divided by 23. Divide by 23, which is equal to 62. Okay, now we are not yet done. And the question now is asking what was the difference between the boys and girls at first. So it means that I need to find out what is the number of students here and what is the number of students here. Then I need to minus. So of course you can choose to substitute 62 back into here first. Then you find out the number. 62 times 8, find out the number. Then you minus. Or you also can choose to do like this. You minus first using the algebra method or in algebraic expression form first. I mean, of course, if you prefer numbers, then you just substitute in first. So 15 unit plus 20 minus 8 unit. So I know 15 unit minus 8 unit is 7 unit. And plus 20 will still be plus 20. You can't combine the terms here. So 7 times 1 unit is 62. 7 unit will be 7 times 62 plus 20. Just put in your calculator. This is the paper 2 question. You get 432 plus 20 and the answer will be 454. Okay, simple, and let's move on to the next question. Okay, Nanyang paper 2 question 8. Mr. Saw spent 1 out of 5 of his money on a pair of shoes and 3 out of 4 of his remaining money on a bag, shirt, and a hat. So let's try to draw a model. I think that will work the best, probably. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 1 out of 5 of his money on a pair of shoes. So this part I know is on 1 shoes. 3 out of 4 of the remaining, so 1, 2, 3, 4. These 3 remaining is on 1 bag, 1 shirt, and 1 hat. Now, the bag costs 3 times as much as the hat. So let's try to write bag, hat, shirt. Bag costs 3 times as much as the hat. The shirt costs 1/2 as much as the hat. So it means that this 1 belongs to shirt, this 2 belongs to hat. Shirt is 1, hat is 2. So of course, these two are supposed to be the same. So I times 2, I times 2. So I know that bag will be 6 unit, hat will be 2 unit, shirt will be 1 unit. And the pair of shoe costs 48 more than the shirt. Okay, so I have another one, which is the shoes. 48 more than the shirt. Shirt is 1 unit, right? So basically here will be 6 unit, 2 unit, 1 unit. It will be 1 unit plus 48. Now, from here, I also can notice one thing. 1 bag means here 6 unit. 1 shirt means here 1 unit. 1 hat means here 2 unit. So the total unit here is supposed to be 9. But these 3, okay, let me just call this as part. So 3 part gives me 9 unit. Correct. 3 parts give me 9 unit. So 3 parts gives me 9 unit. Okay, but this one, you can see, this part is 1 part gives me what? 1 unit plus 48. Means that 3 parts 9 unit, 1 part supposed to be 3 unit. And I notice that 1 part is 1 unit plus 48. 1 part is actually also 3 unit. So then you can kind of know that 1 unit plus 48 is actually 3 unit. So 48 is actually 2 unit and 1 unit is actually 24. Now let's continue. How much money did Mrs. So have at first? Again, 1 part is 3 unit, right? So 1 part is 3 unit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 parts. That's supposed to be 15 unit. So 15 times 24. And that will be the amount that she have at first. So let's just bring in our calculator. 15 times 24. And the answer will be 360. Yes, that will be the amount that you have. Okay, so yes, this is Nanyang paper 2 question 8. A question that will be slightly requires you to think a bit more. Okay. Let's move on to our next question, and perhaps this is one of my favorite question. Now, let's look at this question. In the figure, a square, a right angle triangle, and a circle with center overlap one another. So you can see this is the square. This is the right angle triangle. This is the circle. They overlap one another. The ratio of the area of the square to the area of the circle to the area of the triangle is 10:8:7. So let's try to do our part A here so that you can kind of compare. See, I have this triangle, I have this circle, I have this square. This is square, okay? This is total. What happened is square, circle, triangle. Square is actually 10. So let me just write here 10. Circle is actually what? 8. So here's 8. Triangle is actually what? 7. Now what I need to find is the ratio of the unshaded area of the figure to the unshaded area of the figure. So shaded to unshaded, sorry. Give your answer in the simplest form. So what is interesting is that they don't give you what is here, what is here, what is here, but you need to kind of figure out yourself. Okay, now the key idea here that is actually this word, center. So this is actually the center. And now you see, let's try to find an unshaded part first. This circle is actually 8 units, and this is actually the line is actually passing through the center, which means that this is actually what? Half. Means that this is actually 4 units. Okay? And can you see here? This part, this is a square, and square is 90 degrees. Means that this is actually just a nice quadrant. Means that this is a quarter of the circle. A quarter of 8 is what? 2. So this should give you a very clear idea of what? That this is 4, this is 2. I mean, of course, the question doesn't tell you very clearly, but by understanding the properties of maybe the triangle, the circle, the square, should give you this idea. Okay? Now, look at here. This is a triangle. The triangle has 7 units. And what happened? And, okay, let me just write here. And the unshaded part is actually what? This 4. So 4 is unshaded part. How about circle? Circle, I should actually minus what? 4 and 2, right? So it's 6. And this is the square. Square I minus what? 2. So if this is the total, minus away the unshaded part, what is the shaded part? The shaded part will be what? 3, 2, 8. Okay. And of course, the question now asking for what? The ratio of shaded to unshaded. So what's the shaded? 3 plus 2 plus 8, which is 13. What is the unshaded? 6 plus 4 plus 2, which is 12. And of course, the answer is shaded 13, unshaded 12. And we are done for this question. Okay, so let's look at the part B. Part B. Given that the unshaded area of the figure is 84 cm square, find the area of the triangle. Okay, unshaded, okay, let me just highlight. Unshaded is 86.4. Now, unshaded is actually what? 12 units. So it means that this is actually equivalent to 12 units. And now we need to find the area of triangle. Triangle is how many units? Triangle is actually 7 units. So basically, very simple. 86.4 divided by 12 times 7. Just press on your calculator and you should get 50.4. And now we are looking at area, so we are supposed to put cm square. And you are done. Okay? So kind of simple. And let's move on to our last question here. Last question. The table below shows the rental rate of each item. So I have a pair of rollerblades, skateboard, and 1 bicycle. Okay. So the graph shows the number of hours ME rented for each item. Now, just a quick reminder. This is per hour, and this is 1 item. So it means you have 1 pair, 1 skateboard, 1 bicycle. Okay? And here, ME rented 1 pair of rollerblades, 1 skateboard, and 2 bicycle. And the 2 bicycle were rented for the same duration. How much did ME pay altogether? So let's look at the rollerblade first. Let me just write here A. Rollerblade, I have 1 pair. So 1 pair. How long? 2 hours. Okay, so you can see here, right? From here to here is 2 hours. So 2 hours. And each hour for $10. So rollerblade costs this much. Next, skateboard. Skateboard, I have how many? 1. Skateboard, how long? 2 hours. Each hour for how long? For how much? $4.50. Plus, how many bicycle? I have 2 bicycle. How many hours did I actually rent? 3 hours. Each hour, how much does it take? 7. So, just press on calculator, add them together, you should get 20 plus 9 plus 42, and your final answer is supposed to be $71. Okay? It's not a difficult question, but it requires you to read very carefully based on the hours or the duration here and the number of items that I'm renting here. Okay, so let's look at B. Bobby paid a total of $43.50 for renting 1 skateboard and 1 pair of rollerblades. Bobby started his rent of both items at the same time and ended his rental of both items at 6:30 p.m. What time did Bobby started his rent? So the first thing here is 1 skateboard. I don't know how long, right? This is the time basically is what I need to find. But what I know here is they actually rented at the same time and ended at the same time. Means that the time of skateboard and rollerblade is the same. Again, do I know how much time? I don't know. So let's try to put here T. Here will be T. Now, skateboard actually costs how much? Let me just look at here first. $4.50. So what I can do is I can just put here $4.50, and T will stand for duration per hour lah, okay? So it means that if it's 1 hour, then T will be 1. So it will be cost $4.50. If it's 2 hours, means I will use $4.50 times 2. It will be $9. So basically this is the idea, okay? And rollerblade costs $10. So I can put here as 10. The same thing, if it's 1 hour, so T will be 1. So 1 times 10 means he need to pay $10. If it's 2 hours, 2 times 10 it will be 20. And this actually forms an equation that $4.50 plus 10T equal to $43.50. So these two add together is 14.50, okay? Equal to 43.50. And T actually stands for 43.50 divided by 14.5, which is 3. And this basically tells you that Bobby actually rented for 3 hours. And since I ended at 6:30, means 3 hours before 6:30 p.m. is 3:30 p.m. Means that Bobby actually starts his rental at 3:30, and it takes 3 hours until 6:30, and that is the cost of $43.50. Okay. Yes, that marks the end for our last minute revision for set J, and I would say that actually there's a few very interesting questions here, and I really hope that you actually learned something from this video. Okay, that's all from me today. Thank you. See you. Bye bye.